Biffsters! It's day 4 and I wonder where we are today. You might get a clue as Sloppy's holding the flag and we're dressed up in the colours. So we were in Africa, weren't we? And we've moved up into Europe to a boot-shaped country. That's right, we're in Italy today. And I've got a lovely story today. It's called Buried Treasure. So if you're sitting comfortably, I'll begin. Gianni pushed open the door of the old farmhouse. "Good evening, Signor Bruno," he called. "Oh, come in, I'm a friend," answered Signor Bruno. "I'm very happy to see you. Sit down, have a glass of wine." The two men drank wine and chatted about the weather, the crops, and their families. Then Gianni said, "Signor Bruno, I can see you're worried about something. What is it?" Signor Bruno just sighed. "Oh, it's my grandson, Mario. He's a good lad, but he's so lazy. All day long he sits in a hammock. He refuses to do a stroke of work. I don't know what to do with him." Well, Gianni thought for a while, and then he said, "I've got an idea that might solve the problem." And he told Signor Bruno his plan, and the old grandfather laughed. "It's a good plan. It's good. I hope it works." At 11 o'clock the next morning, Gianni strolled up to the farmhouse where Mario lay dozing in the sun in his hammock. "Good morning, Mario," said Gianni quietly. Pulled a piece of old crumpled paper out of his pocket and he was just looking at it. "Oh, I found this old map," he said. "It's very hard to read, but it seems that there are 50 gold pieces buried in that field over there." Mario sat up at once. 50 pieces of gold? I could do with that. "Let's go and look for it," he said, and he jumped down from the hammock. So together, Mario and Gianni hurried to the field, stopped and looked at it, and it was covered with tall, thick weeds. "Oh, we'll have to clear those weeds before we can start looking for the gold," said Mario, and he ran back to the farmhouse to fetch some tools, and then he worked all day, clearing the field of all the weeds. So the next morning, Mario was up early, and when Gianni arrived at the field, Mario was busily digging. The soil was so dry that he was throwing up great big clouds of dust. "Oh, you'll have to water it," said Gianni. So Mario ran off to fetch the hose, and then he watered the whole field. Gianni took out his map and he peered at it. "Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you should start digging over there." He was pointing at it, and just then a whole troop of chattering children came home from school and ran across the field. "Oh, I'll have to keep them away from here. They might find the gold," said Mario. "I know. I'll cover it with manure and that'll keep them off." So he hurried away and he fetched a horse and cart and he loaded it with manure from the stables and he spread it all over the field. And then he started digging. He began at the north side, and then he dug the south side, and then he dug the west side, and finally he dug the east side. Mario dug up the whole field, but he didn't find any gold. He was so fed up, he decided to go back to the farmhouse. He didn't see Gianni dropping seeds as he walked across the field. "Oh, maybe I didn't read the map properly," Gianni said when he joined Mario back at the house. I'll send the map to a clever friend of mine. He'll be able to read this strange writing, and I'll let you know as soon as I hear from him, all right?" Mario waited for weeks and weeks, and at last Gianni came one morning. "Come and look at your field," he said. Together, and with the old grandfather, Signor Bruno, they walked to the field. Mario just stared at it in surprise. The whole field was covered with rows and rows of juicy lettuce. "You see what all your clearing and watering and manuring and digging has done?" laughed Gianni. "All I did was planted some seeds for you." And just then a merchant drove up in his horse and cart. You can have all of this lettuce for 50 pieces of gold, Signor Bruno called to him. The merchant counted out the gold and gave it to the old grandfather. Mario and Gianni cut all of the lettuce and loaded it into the merchant's cart. Here are your 50 pieces of gold, the grandfather laughed, handing them over to Mario. They were there in the field all along. You just had to grow them. Mario stared at his grandfather and then at Gianni. I think you two planned this, he said, frowning, and then he laughed, and he thanked his grandfather for the money, but he wanted to give it to Gianni. Gianni wouldn't take it. No, it's yours, he said. You worked for it. And from then on, Mario worked hard on his grandfather's farm, and he grew huge crops of wonderful vegetables, and every year he gave Gianni enough seeds to grow a whole field of lettuce. Bye. See you tomorrow.